The football world is buzzing about Shaq Barrett and the Miami Dolphins. What is going on?
Shaq Barrett attempted to return to the NFL, and the Dolphins decided not to let him.
Can you give us some background on Shaq Barrett?
He's a good player. He has 2 Pro Bowl selections. He played for the Buccaneers and the Broncos. He decided to retire earlier this year.
So he retired and now he wants to come back.
He attempted to unretire and play for the Dolphins, but they haven't activated him.
So he can't play for any team this season.
Correct. The Dolphins are preventing him from playing for any team this year.
But why would they do that? The Dolphins are trying to make the playoffs. Wouldn't they want the help?
It's unclear exactly why they're doing this. They haven't said anything publicly.
What are some possible reasons for this?
Maybe they're worried about his fitness. He's been away from the game for a while. Or it could be that they think adding him mid-season could hurt the team.
Could it be contract related?
It's possible. NFL contracts are complicated. There could be something in his contract that allows the Dolphins to do this.
So what does this mean for Barrett's future?
It's uncertain right now. He can't play while the Dolphins refuse to release him.
Is it possible his career is over?
It depends. Does he really want to come back? Will a team sign him next year? These questions are unanswered.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
Not often. It's not common for a team to prevent a player from returning like this.
It seems pretty unusual.
It is. It's unusual because he's a good player and because the Dolphins are trying to make the playoffs. There's a lot of attention on this situation.
Could the league get involved in this?
It's possible, but the league tries to stay out of contract disputes. If Barrett thinks his rights are being violated, he could file a grievance.
Could he sue the Dolphins?
He could, but it would be a complicated and lengthy process. It depends on his contract.
What kind of impact could this have on contracts in the future?
It could make players and their agents pay closer attention to the language in their contracts. Players might want more control over their options after retirement.
This whole situation raises a lot of questions about how much power players really have.
That's right. Teams invest a lot in players. Teams want to control their rosters. Players also deserve to have some control over their careers. This situation shows how complicated the relationship between players and teams is.
What are some possible ways to address these concerns?
Maybe there could be clearer guidelines for players who want to return. Maybe there could be a way for players to buy out their contracts if they want to play for another team.
Would teams be happy about that?
Probably not. Teams would probably want to keep as much control over their rosters as possible. Players and their union would want more freedom. It's complicated.
There are a lot of different sides to this issue.
There are. This will be interesting to follow.
It will be. Thanks for breaking all of this down.
Of course. It's an interesting situation because it shows how much power teams have.
It's definitely gotten people talking. What are people saying about it?
There are different opinions. Some people say the Dolphins are just following the rules of the contract. They say it's not easy to run a team, and adding a player in the middle of the season can be hard.
And what about the other side?
Others say Barrett should be able to play if he's healthy and another team wants him. They say players only have a short time to play and they should have control over that.
Are there rules in contracts that can stop players from returning after they retire?
NFL contracts have clauses about retirement. The exact wording can be different, but it's possible that Barrett's contract gives the Dolphins a lot of control.
What do other players think about this?
Some former players understand what Barrett is going through. They know how tough it can be to retire and then try to come back. Other players say the Dolphins are doing what's best for their team. And current players are watching this closely because it could affect them in the future.
Could this affect how things are done in the future? Like, what if teams always stop players from coming back?
It could make players not want to retire because they'll be afraid they can't come back. It could also make teams not want to sign players who retired before.
What can the players' union do about this?
They can try to make the language in contracts clearer. They can suggest rules that give players more control.
Does what the fans think matter?
It can. If a lot of people support Barrett, it could make the Dolphins change their minds. If people agree with the Dolphins, then it's harder for Barrett to get what he wants.
Do you think the league will change any rules because of this?
They might try to make the rules about retirement clearer. They might make a way for players and teams to work things out.
This shows how professional sports is a business.
Exactly. Teams want to win and make money. Players want to play and have a good career.
How can the league make things fair for both sides?
They can make sure teams and players talk to each other. They can have clear rules. They can create a culture of respect.
What should young players know about all of this?
Read your contracts carefully, talk to your agent, make sure you understand everything about retirement and coming back.
Where can people learn more about contracts?
The Players Union has resources. You can find information online from legal experts.
This situation has been really eye-opening.
It has. It reminds us that there's a lot going on behind the scenes in professional sports.
It seems like transparency is really important in these situations. How can the NFL make things clearer for everyone?
They could create standard contracts that spell out all the terms about retirement and comebacks.
So everyone knows exactly what they're agreeing to.
Right. These contracts could be reviewed by the Players Association and the league, so everyone's on the same page.
What about communication? Is there a way to handle these disagreements better?
Open communication is crucial. Having a formal process for mediation or arbitration could help.
So a way to sit down and talk things through.
Exactly. It could help find solutions that work for both sides.
This whole thing makes you think about the ethics of it all. Is it right for teams to stop players from coming back?
There are arguments on both sides. Teams want to protect their investments and manage their rosters. Players want the freedom to play.
It's a tough balance to find.
It is, and it's important to consider the human side of it all.
These are people's careers and livelihoods we're talking about.
Exactly. The league could do more to help players transition in and out of retirement.
Like what kinds of things?
Things like financial planning, career counseling, mental health support.
So players are taken care of even after they leave the field.
Right. It's about supporting them throughout their entire journey, not just during their playing years.
So what happens next in the Shaq Barrett situation? What should we be looking out for?
We'll have to see if Barrett takes legal action or if he works with the Players Association. It's possible he tries to find another team.
What could this mean for the future of the NFL?
The outcome could change how teams and players handle retirement and comebacks. We might see new rules or changes to existing agreements.
It'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
It will. This case has brought up a lot of important issues about the relationship between players and teams.
Thanks for helping us understand this complex situation.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.